Thank you very much. The Walking Dead also describes how investment bankers look like around 6 p.m. That's actually how we refer to them. Anyway, it's great. It's really great to be here today because we have a very fantastic guest with us, Dato Zain. And two things before we start off with the session, which is number one, it's only 15 minutes, and Dato Zain has a wealth of experience and information that you absolutely have to know. But we only have 15 minutes. So with that, please do send in your questions to the Meet PS link so that we can kick it off with those. All right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing will be also, in terms of is the link will be kind of put up behind me before this. And the second thing is that you have to understand that this is a fantastic industry, right? This is an industry everyone wants to get into, right? And to get into this industry, you need every edge, every single informational edge that you need. What are those edges, right? And that's exactly what Dato Zain will kind of shed some light for us here today. All right, so with that, Dato.
Thank you. Hello, morning. Okay. Thank you, Faridq, and thank you very much to CFA Society of Malaysia for inviting SC and myself here today to give a short briefing on what we do. Perhaps I'll just tell briefly my career journey. Basically, I started my journey in investment banking back in 1995. After graduated from school. I think just like most of the students then or even now. After my second year, when I came back for summer break. Frankly, I do not know what to do. But when I look around at that time, it was 1993, 1994. Stock market was booming. Share prices were skyrocketing, and you name it, any IPO those days, the premium that you get, is like 100, 200, 300%, on the first day, And corporate Malaysia was like booming, and Malaysia is like one of the Asian tigers. So I thought that maybe I should go into the corporate, but corporate is very wide, very wide, and when I do a lot of research and talk to people, then I thought perhaps I should start my career in investment banking. And from there I said, let's see how it goes. So investment banking, and then I thought that perhaps I should try to go into corporate finance. I'm not sure whether what you guys know what corporate finance does. Basically, corporate finance does more on the advisory, advise the corporate client, those that intend to list their companies on stock market. Then they have to engage the investment bankers, basically to look at how to structure the company, to prepare the company from ground zero, from where they are, and how many shares that the major shareholders need to retain, and how many shares that they're selling, and what's the price, and basically later on to get investors into the company as well. And also when there are mergers acquisition, be it small or right to the mega size, and if it involves listed companies, then you have to engage investment bankers. And when 1997 came, 1998, which Asian financial crisis, a lot of companies went under, and then there are a lot of debt to be restructured. Then again, you consult. You have to get as well, for those listed companies, you have to get the advice of the investment bankers as well. So basically, in good times, in bad times, we are never short of jobs. But as years goes by, at the end of the day, I think just like any other career you need to see how to improve yourself, and also the banks then need to value add to their clients. So they need to bring deals to the table For example, one would need to see what's there in the market and how best basically to value add to your client. Yeah. So having been in industry for close to it's 25 years. Yeah. In 2020, there was an opportunity. Yeah? The leadership of SC came and asked me if I can contribute something, yeah, to the industry. And I thought, having been in industry for 25 years, this is perhaps the time for me to share my experience and bring whatever the aspiration of the industry and help the leadership and the other, not just in SC, but also nationwide, to bring the level up. And I've been in SC for the past close to 4 years. Yeah.
All right. So you have experience spanning investment banking. Now you're going into the regulator zone, I would say. So you have seen a lot of this, plus your whole time in the market. I'm just wondering, what would you say is the biggest development, especially since a lot of us here wants to enter into this career? What would you say are the biggest changes in terms of what the market looks for in terms of people who want to enter the industry?
Okay, I think what I've seen basically when the employer interviews a student, including myself, yeah. Of course, qualification is must-have lah. Yeah, but most important is basically we would like to see how agile, how determined basically the students is lah. Yeah, and sometimes it's quite difficult to test at the interview, but one would need to just give it a try and don't give up. Don't be shy to ask for more jobs, yeah? Because sometimes when you join the career, you're just basically they just ask you to do the simple stuff, yeah? But if you are done with it, you go and you must be hungry for jobs and hungry for knowledge, yeah? Because believe me, you go into the employment, yeah, there is no like classroom where your seniors will be busy chasing deals, yeah, looking after their clients, yeah. But it is you, basically you need. I always tell my guys, assume that there is no one above you, yeah, no one above you. So that assume that you are front-facing the client yourself, and if you do that, basically then you need to prepare yourself, yeah. You can imagine, yeah. Because you need to prepare your boss. Yeah? Your boss will be relying on you. Yeah? So who would he or she relies on? The person who has the information. And especially those in the corporate line, the level, the layer is very thin. Yeah? And the bosses needs to deal directly to those who has the information. Yeah? So the more work, the more knowledge you find, it will be better for you yourself.
All right, that's great. So essentially, know your stuff, right? You have to be the one that they rely on, yeah, in order for you to kind of stand out, right? Another question we asked, like, what would you say is the biggest challenge right now facing students or facing career switchers who wants to enter the industry from outside? Because earlier on you said that when you first joined, the market was booming, right? Malaysia was booming. And then unfortunately now, things have, Malaysia has matured, the market's a little bit matured. So what would you say are the challenges, the biggest challenges that they face?
Okay, that's a very good question actually. Those days, market were simpler lah compared to now. Yeah. Now there are more options. Those days, corporate finance is a place to be in. Yeah. But over the years, what I've seen when I used to recruit people, they prefer to go into, because corporate finance is a lot of work. You have to work till late hours, till late hours, weekends. And now students have more options, PE, venture capital, fintech, So, but those, so it is wider option. wider option. So most important actually is you need to know where you want to go. Yeah, because the moment you enter the job market, the line that you want to go in, you'll be spending like 3 months, 6 months, and suddenly you think that, hey, that's not your cup of tea, and you want to move on. Yeah, in a way, it's a waste of time for you, and also a waste of time for your employer. So the best is basically do a lot of readings first. Yeah, check around, speak to people. Yeah, I think there are a lot of booths out there. Yeah, and do a lot of research. Nowadays, it's very easy. You just Google. Yeah, and then only you make your decision rather than just jump into or follow your friends. Yeah.
So to boil it down, it would be research first and also prep yourself, right? Always come up with some prep. So let's go on with the first question from the audience. And top on the audience mind apparently is, what are the most relevant skills that you believe are most important in this industry? The most relevant skills.
Actually, people, like what I've said, the employer will look at those who has the information, who is willing to put in the hours, who is determined. It's not an easy life out there actually. Yeah, but it depends on how you handle your work and your life lah. Yeah, most important is basically not only to please your boss, but at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm assuming that you guys are on the sell side, yeah? i.e. you're selling your services. Yeah? So basically, you need to see where you can sell the story or the proposal to your client. Because at the end of the day, your client wants to make money, to create value for themselves. So how do you add to that? Yeah? That's where basically you have to do a lot of research actually, yeah, and you have to connect with people and see how deals are made, because at the end of the day, again, like what I've said, it's creation of the value, right from your client, yeah, your bosses, your companies, your employer, yeah, because at the end of the day, your bosses, in terms of remunerating you, rewarding you, they will look at your performance. Yeah? And if they think that they want you, believe me, they will make sure that they will reward, they will retain you, whatever it takes. Because I've seen that myself. I've experienced that myself.
I think that's a great point. I think Dato really hit the nail on its head when you said that this is ultimately a service industry, right? It's all about servicing the client. And from that, you have to understand the skills that goes into service, right? How do you sell? How do you sell an idea? How do you pitch an idea? And ultimately for the benefit of the client, right? So yeah, that's I think something that we tend to lose sight of, right? That ultimately this is in service of the client. And the last question for today from the audience, I think this is kind of touches on your role in the SC, would be, how does the SC kind of address financial scams that we see on the rise recently? What would you say to that?
Financial scams, I think is a hot topic. Yeah, we in SC as well, we have received lots of complaints lah. I think it's important that it takes all levels or a lot of stakeholders to address these issues, not just the regulators. But I think it starts from basically schooling days. Yeah? I think the government needs to, I think there are curriculum nowadays that touches on financial scams. I think we need to make sure that don't believe anything that can give fast rewards, yeah? Returns with like 20%, 30% over 1 year, for example, which we have seen. Yeah, they are in the market. Yeah. So in SC we do carry out campaigns and on a yearly basis. In fact, it's actually twice a year. Yeah. Every year we will have one in KL. It's called InvestSmart. Yeah? That's why we engage with the mom and pops, the public, to educate them on areas for investment as well as financial scams lah. Yeah? Not only financial scams, in SC as well, we look at corporate complaints on if there is any fraud. Yeah? If any people try to circumvent rules. Yeah? And so I always tell my guys that we have to be, we cannot just react to what is being complained. You have to be above the curve, over the curve. We have to be far ahead from market. Before the market thinks, then we should be thinking already a few years, out front. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like you need to anticipate, guess. That's where basically, industry knowledge should be good. I would say. If you were to join regulators, yeah. But of course, just some information a bit, Faridq, you don't mind. For SC, we do hire students, fresh grad. Yeah, we have our graduate program, as well as we do experience hire as well. Yeah, and SC, we have a lot of our role, not just to regulate the capital market, but we also develop the capital market. Yeah. And apart from looking at the IPOs, the takeover and mergers, the unit trust, but we also develop market. What sort of instruments that we can bring to the market? For example, ECF, equity crowdfunding, peer-to-peer, financing, fintech. There's a lot. I mean, there are a lot of things which are happening actually. Industry and we have to look around as well. There are a lot of startups. So what do we do with startups? We have to encourage the VC, venture capitalists, the PE funds, to facilitate them coming into industry and invest in these startups. And where do the startups go after that? Then they come into the market. So we need to facilitate wherever possible. Yeah. To help, to improve, to make the market more vibrant.
So always being ahead of the criminal, a step ahead of the criminals is always a race, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's why we rely on experience of people. We have to talk. We do go into intelligence.
Yeah, I understand. Definitely. Another question. I mean, this one comes another voter question. And I know you've touched on this on a few different angles, so I'm going to ask this question a little bit differently. I mean, you've spent decades hiring, hopefully not firing, but hiring a large amount of people. I'm just wondering, and the audience kind of wants to know, do you only hire those with direct financial experience, or do you also see some value in hiring, those from outside the finance industry? And if so, what kind of skills should they kind of pick up, or to kind of stand out, especially those with no finance experience?
Yeah, I don't have much experience back then, even knowledge on finance. Yeah, I studied economics, and over the years, based on my experience and what you'll see later on also in the industry is that. Having a finance background is not really a requirement, actually. Yeah, I've hired people with chemistry or biology, biochemists, engineering, most of them, and lawyers as well. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like what I've said, when you come into the industry, learning on the job. Yeah. You have to do it fast. You have to hit the ground running. You cannot just be waiting there for people to spoon feed you. You have to, like what I've said, in your initial years, I think your social life you need to sacrifice. Is where basically you need to put in the hours and to prove to yourself that because this initial year is very important. That's where basically you accumulate all the experience. Yeah, and I always tell my guys, don't be, don't be afraid. Yeah, just to, if let's say you want to question your bosses, yeah, but do it diplomatically. Yeah, because they will really appreciate that. Because at the end of the day, anything happens, yeah, the whole organization will be affected. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dato Zain. So if we kind of boil down our discussion here today into the three key takeaways for our audience here today will be, number one is that the finance industry is ultimately a service industry, right? It's in the service of the client. And you have to kind of think about what kind of skills you need to excel in that role. The second key takeaway would be, before entering into this industry, you want to be, making sure that you prep a lot, right? A lot of preparation, a lot of knowledge that goes into that. And finally, when you do get the job, that's our last key takeaway, will be to be indispensable, right? And how do you do that is to constantly be reliable and making sure that your team can count on you. Right? I think that's the three main takeaways from here today. And I would like to thank the audience. Please give a huge round of applause to Dato Zain for such an insightful talk. Right?
Thank you, Faridq. I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you so much. All right.